Good afternoon. Welcome to Lehigh County Authority Board of Director meeting. Today is Monday, June 8, 2026. The meeting has been held in a session either live or via Zoom or the phone calls. The material for the meeting today was mailed and emailed to the Lehigh County Board of the Directors members and also was posted on the website. Lisa, would you please go to the roll call for the board of directors, please?
You bet. Roll call of the board. Amir Famili.
Here.
Jeff Morgan.
Here.
Ted Lyons.
Here.
Linda Rosenfeld.
Here.
Kevin Baker. Sean Ziller. Peter Dent.
Here.
Neil Amin. Here. DJ Singh.
Yes.
All right, we have 7 board members present.
Thank you, Lisa. Reviewing the agenda, any changes on the agenda or any need for the executive sessions?
All right, no executive sessions today. However, on the
No executive sessions?
no executive session. We have a
Okay.
committee meeting after this
Okay.
board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, different type of
Yes.
meeting. Under wastewater today, we're going to remove the industrial pretreatment plant master plan item from the regular board agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Going to the approval of the minutes from the last.
I move that the minutes be approved.
Thank you, Linda. I'll second. Okay, motion made by Linda, second by Peter. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, appreciate that. I don't think there's any committee reports, since everything. Any public comment from the item which is not part of the agenda?
I have no comments. Thank you.
Right. Okay, let's move to the action items that we have. One is under water, is the Allentown Pine Island 2026 structural upgrade, which is on green pages, digital pages, page 9 to 14. And
okay, thank you, Amir. So this wastewater project, this is generated from an annual report that Arcadis prepares for us that basically looks at buildings and structures and identifies any deficiencies with the buildings and the structures. And the purpose of this project is to address this annual report and keep up with upkeep of the Kleins Island wastewater treatment plant. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Amy, going to present the construction phase of West.
Thanks, Chuck. So as Chuck said, this is an annual project that we endeavor on. And this year we are looking at structural upgrades to the plastic media trickling filter number 4. As you recall, we recently rehabbed that filter, replacing media. And as part of the project, it was identified that there is some steel deficiencies that need to be addressed. The filter was put in service back in the late 70s. So it is about 50 years old, and the steel has some degradation. So it was identified that the repairs needed would be welding plates to the web of the steel columns at several locations where there's connections. Some anchor bolts at the anchoring of those columns need to be upgraded due to degradation just over the years, the corrosion. And then also coating the radial member at the top of the tank was not coated as part of the rehab, and the columns were not coated. So we put this project out to bid. We had CHA consulting do the design for this, and we advertised the project on April 17th, had a pre-bid meeting on April 23rd, and we received bids on May 12th. We broke the pricing into a base bid, a bid alternate 1, and bid alternate 2. The base bid was for welding those steel plates and replacing the anchor bolts. Bid alternate number 1 was for coating the top stiffener beam that go radial at the very top of the tower. And then bid alternate 2 was for coating all the columns. If you can see in your paper, the breakdown of the pricing, we got 3 bids. Depending on what we awarded, it changed who the low bidder was. We have decided that we wanted to award the base bid plus bid alternate 1 this year with this year's indenture fund and push the bid alternate 2, which is coating of the columns, into next year. So you'll probably see me next year asking for money for that one. So the base bid plus bid alternate 1, the low bidder was Zimmerman Environmental, and that total bid price was $394,852.37, which was pretty much spot on with what our engineer's estimate was. It was within 1% difference. As I said, the bid alternate 2 would be awarded next year. We will make that a separate project, go out to bid for that separately. So this authorization today includes the contract with Zimmerman Environmental for $394,852.37, plus professional service authorization for CHA Consulting to provide construction oversight, inspection services, and project management during construction phase, which is $29,400. So the total authorization I'm requesting today includes a little $20,000 in staff time and contingency. So the total $25,000 in contingency and $20,000 in staff time, sorry. And the total cost that I'm requesting today is $469,252.37. And this work will take place during the summer into fall. It'll all be done this year.
Any question for him?
I have a question. So is the tank out of service to do this work?
The tank is not, it will not be out of service. The filter is in service. It was put back in service the end of March. The end of March, mid-March, mid-March, late March. And it will remain in service. All the work is exterior of the filter.
Oh. And wasn't there a similar tank that was repaired to a change order?
We did do, yes, as part of the rehab project, we did coat the, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the
girts.
The girts, the steel girts around the tank. There's 3 levels, 3 or 4 levels, and we coated those. The steel plate that we're adding is where those girts connect to the column. In the web of the column, there's steel plates that are going to be welded to help stiffen that, because the thickness of the web of that column has reduced over time. And then we're also welding plates at the base of those columns for the same reason.
And sorry, one last question.
Yeah.
So for the bid alternate 2, would it be a savings to just have that done now and not have to spend time to bid it, rebid it, have the contractor mobilize, demobilize, bonds, insurance all over again? Is there some other technical reason why?
We did look at that, Jeff, and it was just a budget concern.
Okay.
Basically, why we decided not to award all of it.
Okay, all right, got it.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Seeking authorization for the amount of $469,252.37 for the Allentown Division wastewater treatment architectural and structural upgrade. I'll move. Okay, thank you.
Second,
The motion by Peter, second by Linda, all in favor, say aye.
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 Oh, we can pass. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, you guys welcome. Moving to the next item is the monthly project update, which is on the digital board package, pages 15 to 21.
All right, this one will be very short.
Okay.
We have no items listed for the next meeting other than our normal monthly reports, the financial safety and operations reports. So we'll have to have a conversation over the next week or so whether we want to have that meeting or just report into session in July. And the rest of the report is just the list of the open projects that we're working on, and if any questions about those, we can try to answer them.
I have one question. So the Whitehall at 537 plan, there've been a couple new developments that have caught my eye in the area. So I was just wondering what was happening with that plan or what was going on or.
Yeah, I'll ask Phil to jump in and explain that that's his project.
Yeah, you talking about the Saxton property or which one? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna be a standalone.
Cedar Crest and Mock Chunk
Yeah,
there.
it's a standalone wastewater plant that DEP's already given preliminary
Really?
flow requirements for. So it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be part of any consolidation
Okay.
plants in North Whitehall. Various is doing the plan. They want to submit to their planning commission by the end of this year. So there's gonna be some discussions we have to have internally about potentially consolidation of two of the plants. Second half of this year, we have to talk to them shortly. So it's been a slow go, but two of the plants could be consolidated into one, if it makes financial sense. But that one you're talking about, it's gonna be a standalone.
Okay. I thought they were actually thinking about taking public sewer to some existing developments in that area as well.
Yeah, no.
I don't know all the details, but I was just curious.
Yeah, we're at the very beginning stages, very beginning stages of that project.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Moving to the next item, which is the capital project report quarterly. Colors. This one was a digital package, 22/31.
Okay, so this is the very first edition
Yes.
of our capital project update report that AJ and his team have been working on. I'm going to put up on the screen so we can walk through it together. What I'm putting on the screen is the same as what's in the packet, so we can, everyone can follow along. And then I'll turn to AJ to walk us through what we're looking at.
All right, thanks, Liesl. Thanks, Amir. Yeah, we're very excited to present our first quarterly capital project update report. We know it's something that you've been asking for quite a while, and we're really proud that we now have something to share with you. Just want to acknowledge the team effort that was involved with this. We had field services, operations, engineering, asset management, our finance department, help pull all this information together. So the first page of the report is basically a comparison of what we predicted or planned as part of the capital planning process back when we approved it last August, September timeframe, and then actuals through the first quarter, and then what we're predicting through the end of the year. So this kind of gives an idea of overall where we stand relative to. Is there a question? Okay, this kind of gives the picture of all projects, and then in some of the following information, we kind of walk through some of the reasons for the deltas. Through the first quarter, we're off 2.3 million from what we planned. We were planning about 14 million. We've only spent 11.8. And then if you look at through the end of the year, we have a $63.5 million plan for the year, and we're predicting 57.4. And there's some reasons for that, which I'll get into. But this is basically the format. We have ways to look at each individual city, suburban water, wastewater, looking at differences by fund type. So it's a dynamic tool, it's a live tool, it's something that we can kind of dive into. We're presenting you with kind of the overview. So, I don't know, Amir, do you want me to go through and then take questions? And then, okay, so I'll go through all the information. So then what we want to give you is some idea of like, well, what's going on? Why are we underspent? So we took our top 5 projects and compared where we thought we were gonna be. And this is the year-to-date forecast, this is the Q1 forecast versus the year-to-date actual spend. And the main one that I'll mention is the lead project. And there's 2 main reasons why we're underspent, in my opinion. One is that we overpromised at the capital phase. We promised that we would finish all of cycle 2 in 2026. And even if you look at the contract documents that we used, that was not what we were planning for the actual project. So we overpromised on that, and that's a mistake. We should have had more work in 2027 than having it all in 2026. The other thing that's happening is that we're a little slower than we planned in terms of starting the work. So it's taking us a little longer to get the right of entry agreements from the customers. This is our first, lead service replacement project that we're contracting through contractors. We did our own, of course, last year and continue to this year, but we're slower getting started, and so we're not going to spend as much as a result. So that's another reason for being underspent. Water main replacement project is mainly permits that we didn't expect. We've now got them. We've now out to bid. We now have a contractor. But as of this date, we're not as far along as we thought. That project is like I said, out. We have a contractor under contract, and that should get moving. The rest of them are really almost like a timing of invoices. So they're not showing up as money spent in the first quarter, but the work's been done. So I'm not as concerned about these 3. The costs more or less are hitting. It's just a timing thing. That's the underspent on the cost. And then we have an overspend on the next slide, just to give you an idea of where that stands. Some of these things sort of balance out. Not entirely, we're still obviously underspent for the whole year, but the large diameter valve project, again, we thought we were going to be done and billed. This is really a timing of billing. The work was done. We didn't get the bill till the new year. And this is something I think as a team we're going to be focused on, is making sure that we get the invoices when we need them. And also, if we get a bill in early January, we do have the accounting sort of authorization to sort of bill that from the prior year because the work was done the prior. So we'll be catching some of those things going forward. So that's more or less what's happening with these, is this invoices just came in later. Not like there's some massive change order. It's just that the work got done a little bit later, and so now it got pushed into the following year. So that's that. Go to the next slide. This is to give you an idea of what's going on with our individual projects. We did a top 10 list of projects that are more than 10% behind the original schedule. Everybody on my team knows that we are really focused on improving our schedule performance. These numbers are not, we're not proud of these numbers. We have projects that are years behind schedule. And so we're focusing on ways to improve that. I'm going to walk you through some of these and some of the reasons, and then also talk a little bit about what we're doing to fix this. Upper system pump station main extension is really somewhat unfair to be on the list. It's true that it's that long, but we were really just waiting for a new customer to come in. So Eli Lilly's come in now. We're back up and running. It really isn't like there was some performance issue. That can't be said for Park Pump Station. We've had a lot of problems with that, primarily with the generator supplier. Major delays in getting the equipment, major delays in getting it operational. We still have a temporary generator on site that the contractor's paying for. We are trying to get that finalized, but just have had a lot of challenges dealing with particularly the generator vendor Cummins. The lead one, you're more or less familiar with this one. This is related to the Penvest challenges we had, and we had to redo all that funding with Penvest that held us back. And then I'll mention the filter upgrade project. That job is over a year behind. We had delays in getting key valves from the supplier, and we were also having some issues with the contractor and meeting. They originally planned 3 months per filter, and we're getting right now about 6 months per filter. So we're planning a meeting with them to deal with that. I guess the thing I want to mention is, so these are not good numbers. The things that we're trying to do to improve upon this include repurchasing equipment. So any contract now that has long lead equipment, I've asked our project manager to identify what those are so that we can purchase those, say maybe 30–60% of design, well before bidding, well before the construction starts, so that we can start the clock. We did that on the 100 MGD pump station. We're going to be doing that on the PFAS project. So we're working to make improvements there. We are also, every project needs to have a schedule that is regularly updated. And that's also in the works. And then some things are kind of out of our control. Upper Western Lehigh Pump Station, we've had multiple sinkholes for which you've given us approval for change orders. Some of those things were just just weren't known at the time and have added schedule. So I want to go over those with you. Go to the next one. So these are projects that are top 10 projects that are more than 5% above the original budget. And some you'll see the linkage. If there's a schedule delay, there's usually because there's a scope issue. So on Upper Western, I mentioned the sinkholes. The plastic media trickling filter one, really this was designed this way. It was designed that the contractor would go in, remove the media. Really didn't know what we had until the media could be removed. So this is more or less a legitimate, hey, we were planning to have changes and they came in above what was planned, but it was all legitimate work. PFAS was related to some site condition work. We have a number of things going on there, but the former spring pool needed to be investigated. There was some concrete and debris and stuff that needed to be investigated. We also have some additional permits that the city's asked us to help with related to stormwater. So that's added some costs. I'll mention on the electrical system, we're doing a lot of work at the pretreatment plant to get that facility where it needs to be in terms of electrical facilities. So we did some additional testing, and that's what that's about to get some results there. That's the project budget variance. Go to the next page. This is this report is affectionately referred to in our department as the Linda report. For you, Linda, you asked for a list of completed construction projects. So this is in response to your ask. And so these are projects that, again, strictly construction projects that were completed in the first quarter. So we finished the Western Lehigh lateral tap grouting project, the Allentown large valve replacement project, and the Kleins Island indenture project. Those were all completed in the first quarter. And then just to kind of, since the end of the first quarter was basically end of March, and now we're in June, we thought it'd be good to give you some more information. And one thing I do want to mention, our next quarterly report, we're going to produce much faster after the end of the quarter. So we took us a while to figure all this out, but going forward, you'll get the quarterly report sooner. So I just wanted to mention a few other highlights of things that have happened since then. We already talked about the ones on the left, but the ones on the right, Heidelberg private sewer laterals, completed, the plastic media trickling filter project is completed, the switchgear and electrical substation project. And we just finished the chemically enhanced primary treatment, testing. We're still waiting for the final report, but all the testing's done. And then, again, I'm not gonna go into all of this because there's a lot here, but we've made significant progress, on a number of our projects, East Side Transmission Main, repair. We're really excited about that. Number of leaks that we're correcting that are now, leaks are gone and that job's almost done. Making really good progress on the PFAS project. Almost done with filter 3 on the water filtration plant. Clarifier number 1 at the pretreatment plant has been installed and is in startup. And the upper western pump station, the one with the sinkholes, is nearing completion, as is the mechanical screen. We started lead cycle 2. That's well underway with our 2 contractors. We've started cycle 9 and 10. We've initiated the solids master plans, the IT digital master plan. We just had major sort of discovery phase last week, meetings with all different departments, with the team helping us with that. We started nitrification, just started kicking that off. We're working on the Shantz testing and design, and we've started the in-house rehab of CMLs with our own team. So that's Q1 plus some bonus information. Happy to take any questions.
Question. How many projects you have going? And again, this can go from repairing a leak in a line someplace to a $20 million project, but let's say our projects of significance at the same time.
Yeah, it's about 70.
70.
Yeah.
And how do you manage those 70 projects?
Yeah.
Do you have project managers, I assume, and
No, it's a great question. So we have, so basically Chuck's team. So this, when I say 70 projects, that includes all capital projects, all planning, basically any project that we have a professional service authorization for. So it can be planning, it can be design. Most of those are design projects, construction projects. Those projects are managed by individual project managers who have responsibility for scope, schedule, budget, the whole thing. So they're managing those on a day-to-day basis. They're ultimately responsible for the performance of the project. We've created over the last couple of years, we've created some new tools by which we can get really good visibility on the status of those projects. So we have this project excellence tool, which I'd be happy to share with you maybe in a future meeting. But basically, we can see what's going on with every project. And every project manager updates that monthly. So we know what changed on the schedule. Is there a change in the costs? We take notes on specifically what happened. And so we're tracking that. And then we have a really good dashboard to see like what changed. What projects are now behind schedule where they were on schedule. We can see those immediately. Which projects are over budget. So we have that tool in place, and then you've heard us talk about Procore. So we're using Procore for our detailed design projects and construction. Really good tool. All the project documents are stored there. We use it to manage information transfer or information sharing with our teams. So during a detailed design project, we need to get comments back from our operations group, and we push that out through Procore. And then during construction, our contractors are using it to push us information, shop drawings, RFIs, things like that. So we have a number of tools in place, but ultimately it's the project manager's job to manage the work to the scope and fee that was planned.
but the project is initiated, designed, put out for bid. Is those project managers, are they part of the design, or is there a handoff to the construction side?
Another good question. Yeah, so for the most part, the project manager who started with the design is staying with the job through construction for continuity. Yeah.
And so how many project managers do you have actually managing stuff in the field once it gets to construction?
Yeah, so we don't have too many in-house construction managers. In fact, we really don't have any. We hire inspectors to inspect the work for us. We don't have any full-time construction
So
manager.
when you're in the field doing a project and there's project meetings on a weekly basis, I'm assuming?
Usually monthly.
Monthly basis. But who manages, who runs those meetings?
Yeah, so so depends on the project, but typically will be, so we'll hire, say like, for example, the main replacement projects, we'll hire the designer, in this case would be GFT, Gannett Fleming. They'll be present, you know, the contractor, typically the engineer doing the inspection work will run the meeting. We'll prepare the agenda, review progress of the work. We're present.
So, then I'll shut up.
No, it's
So, see, there's no owners, we're the owner,
yes.
the LCN. There's no owner's rep at the meeting, running the meeting.
I wouldn't say running it, I would say attending and very actively involved in the discussions. But as far as like,
To go to the vernacular, is there anybody there kicking ass, taking names, pushing the project?
yes, absolutely, yeah. And we're getting better at that. We are working at being better at pushing those buttons, yeah. So, but we absolutely, that is our job. Our job is to make sure that the contract that we signed, and one thing we are doing, and this may be related to your question, is that we will schedule separate one-to-one meetings with the contractor. Like Chuck and I just met with a contractor last week about performance. We've had other meetings, we have upcoming meetings planned with contractor. Well, we sit down where it's more of a, what's going on? Like, we expected this, you're doing this, how are we getting back on track?
So if you need to know how to do that, there's a couple of Air Products people here. Let me tell you, they're the biggest pain in the ass in the world. I know, because I was on the other side.
Yes, I know. We're charging too much.
Follow up with, some of Ted's questions here with regard to, getting things on track, and you have some good tools. You doing any training or people going for certified project managers? And one thing I know, one of the things that, we know from the Air Products education is that if at the 20% of schedule, you're behind, your chances of getting that project done on time are really low. So
Yeah.
the upfront is a huge area of emphasis, but.
No, it's a great question. In fact, I'm actually really glad you asked the question, because we've been talking about PMP certification for our project managers, and currently we're about to sort of roll that out as a requirement, as something that everybody will be. We kind of were doing it voluntary, but what I found, and maybe you've seen this as well, is like, we're really good at engineering. Like, we know how to solve problems, but project management is its own science, it's its own like set of skills, and like we would benefit from having additional training, and the PMP certification is the gold standard. Like, that's what you get. That's what the best utilities have. That's what the best project managers have. And on the consulting side, if you have a PMP, it actually means something. So we're getting into that. There's about 36 hours, 35 hours of coursework. There's an exam. And so we're going to be rolling that out to try to help with project management.
Where are you gonna get that training? Is that, because I know there's a company, SB over in Bethlehem, they have some very good project management, but where else would you get?
Yeah, so we've been talking, there's different, so my alma mater, Villanova, not that I'm pushing them, but they've got a program. Rutgers, Penn State, there's a bunch of offerings. If the one that you suggested, if you could pass that through Liesel, I'd love to.
Yeah.
We haven't picked anybody. And there are some self-guided Udemy courses that you can just do it on your own.
And question on the delays on the schedule here with the lead service.
Yeah.
With that being behind, I know the IRA funds have got to be spent by October. Is it October 1st or something like that? But I'm just wondering if the delay is the delay of being behind on that lead service, is that going to impact our ability to recoup money from IRA?
No, and it's actually IIJA, different set of acronyms or different set of letters, but the IIJA money just needs to be committed by that date, and then we have time to run out the spending. So you're good.
Thanks.
Any question from one of
Just
you?
just a comment. I would just say too, in fairness to everybody and just myself too, I'm always defending schedules that run over because, you know, in this business, you have tanks and critical equipment that, you know, can't be taken out of service until they're actually taken out of service, and you start looking in there, things pop up you don't know of. You're digging in the ground where somebody hasn't dug in 50 years. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go along with it. So to me, it's really like if there's a delay and then, you know, the contractor is asking for a delay claim or things that were missed, those are like the top of the list of issue projects. You know, you have sinkholes, you know, you're gonna have an allowance for $100,000 of tank repairs, and then you need 200,000, or there's a pump that, you know, or something that you didn't foresee, or piping, and you have to get that, and it's a delay. They're all legitimate, you know, and it's just in this business, there's a lot of unforeseen conditions.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because there's like schedule delays that are completely like defensible, like you said, there's things that, and then there are schedule delays that you can't, like, to me, the Cummins and the generator project is not defensible. Like, we shouldn't be waiting for multiple years to get it.
Right, those are the ones that should be at the top of the list as the issues, correct?
Just a follow-up comment, you mentioned monthly job meetings. To me, that's a long time for the good people in the field to get together and talk about what's going on.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong,
Seen
Yes.
frequent on summer.
Sometimes we have more frequent meetings, like especially like a linear project where they're on the job every day. We have full-time inspection. We'll have more frequent meetings. Sometimes in vertical projects, nothing's going on for months and months
Well,
because
that's-
you're in the shop drawing phase. And we still touch base, but when things get really like hot and heavy with the job, we do meet more frequently. It's often like on an as needed basis. I don't know if you want to chime in.
I know on the plastic media trickling filter, we met every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's a good point. I know recently we were talking about the value of having more regular meetings with our engineering partners. Because when you're meeting more regularly, the issues that you need to get resolved by everybody.
Yeah.
Not just them, it's us too. Like, oh, you owed us this, where is it? And now you've gotta answer.
Yeah, we're doing that on the PFAS design. We're meeting every 2 weeks with our engineer, and that's going very well.
Any other question from board member?
Yeah, I was just wondering if, I know it might be difficult, but if you can present this information as after controlling as much as you can for the timing difference, then it may be more meaningful.
You're saying
Right now, it's almost impossible to tell what's going on, right? Because you got some projects that are not quite underway and there's an invoice issue. So you can't tell if there's really cost overrun.
I follow you, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a great start for this presentation. Well,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's very helpful.
More of a cash flow than an accounting.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, and this is prepared specifically for the board, so if you have other comments, if you want to get to Liesel, we can make changes and make it what you want. It's useful to us too, but we're doing it specifically for you all, so.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I wanted to just sort of close, kind of to follow on to what AJ said. So this is our first shot at it with the board, and we've had a lot of internal discussion about what this should look like. So I think it's in pretty good shape, but if you do have comments, you can send them to me and we'll work on them. I also want to just highlight that this is a quarterly report that AJ just presented. And then this monthly project update report, we're going to continue to do for now because it shows all of the things that the board has seen. So in that report in part 3, you see this lengthy listing of projects and what phase they're in and the staff responsibility, kind of getting to your question, Ted, of who's got the ball on things. So at a glance, every month you have that information. If we want to see a change to the monthly report or the quarterly report that you just saw for the first time, let me know.
Just a couple comments from my end. First of all, I want to thank AJ and his team. And, we've been, at least I've been nagging for 5 years. that if we want to be a data-driven organization, we need to have data. You know, before we said this project was delay or that it was based on feeling. Now you really have data, you can pinpoint where are the deficiencies and how we can go and solve that. So congratulations. I think the amount of questions which was raised here was the fact that, you know, we are very heavy on the capital. So that's one of the areas that we have to focus, that are we getting return on our investment? Are the things that we improve and we get a better efficiency? So all these comments, I think that really indicates that it's a need that the board has to have. And also, you know, as you go through them, you know, we borrow money for project and you allocate resources, right? So if the project goes this way and the resources go that way, you gotta have a difficulty to keep aligning the borrowing the money and the resource allocation. So this is really gonna, I mean, some of the question that, you know, Ted was asking, this is gonna really help you, you know, I don't need to have that much variability in my capital expenditure or resource allocation. So that really helps a lot. So I really appreciate that. Have you ever thought about hiring our own project manager internally?
Yeah.
Is it more efficient, more cost effective? I don't know that, but I don't know how the other people, the practice would do. Is that something that we can do ourselves?
When you say hire, you mean,
I mean, right now we form, you know, we just mentioned that, you know, Fleming is doing project management for us. Can we have our project manager internally that manage the projects, working with the engineers and so on and so forth?
well, let me make sure I understand. You asking if we can self-perform and do our own design work? Or are you asking, because we currently manage all our projects. So what exactly do you mean? Like, what would we do?
So when you said that you have this monthly meeting and somebody is running that meeting,
Yeah.
is that person is from external? Is that
Right,
correct?
right.
Is that the person a project manager or is it person who has design and have control over everything? I'm just trying who that person is.
From our team?
No,
Oh, that's typically like their construction manager.
or the construction manager.
So
So who do you assign as your project manager? I mean, there should be for each project, you need to have somebody that you hold accountable for the whole thing.
yeah, typically in construction, if there is a handoff, like you'll have a project manager during design. And then that same project manager may stay involved during construction, or they may hand off to a construction manager who's now the project manager for construction. There can be a handoff. Sometimes it's the same person, but usually there's a handoff to somebody. And I think that works pretty well. I think you're getting the right skills because project managers for design are not necessarily versed in the construction. So I think that works okay.
So for each phase, you have somebody as a point person that you can hold accountable for the
Yes.
delivery
Yeah.
of the milestone, budget and everything.
Yes, in fact, in addition to that, I try to meet, not with every consultant, but most of our major consultants, I try to meet with their like VP or client service leader monthly to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we have an accountable PM, but then there's like another level where I can talk to someone else who may be able to kind of break up a logjam.
Thank you again, I appreciate that. Please, if there are board member who would like to see additional information, please send it to Lisa so she consolidated. Again, I look at it, this is basically a tool for your group to manage and for us at the board level, since we have fiduciary responsibility that tells us the amount of money we approve, are we getting return on our investment? Again, thank you again, I really appreciate for all the effort. Okay. Let's move on. I think that's all we have, right?
Back to staff comments.
Okay. Any staff comments?
I just have one quick commercial reminder that we do have a public officials and LC board member for offering on Thursday this week at 6 p.m. at Klein's Island wastewater treatment plant. So you all should have that information in your inboxes, but I would just be sure that that you know you're all welcome, even if you've done it before. Please feel free to come, and we may have a few others from the community attending as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Solicitor comment.
No comments, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any public comment?
No comments. Thank you.
Amir, hi, this is Jenny. I have a small comment.
Go ahead, please, Jenny.
I just want to say I really applaud LCA for developing the capital report and including all of the elements in it. The LCA managers, project managers really do a great job at shepherding their projects. But I'm thinking as we seek more additional or alternative funding, that this report, maybe with some additional data parameters, will be significant in helping us highlight the funders' requirements and those deadlines.
Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any board member comment? No, okay. So I think the meeting is adjourned. Let's meet 12:55.
55 for the executive.
The executive sessions or the committee sessions. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Have a great week.